Good morning. It is 7:27 a.m. on Monday, April 26th, 2021. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, against the better judgment that I've been trying to have recently, I did stay up late enough to watch the Academy Awards. Which honestly, because it didn't run as long as it sometimes does, wouldn't have been as big an issue, but I found myself thinking about a lot of stuff and not ready to go right to sleep afterwards. That is Rocket playing with a plastic bottle. Hey, buddy, can I borrow that for a second? I'm sorry, button. I'm sorry. Well, see, now I feel bad. I took it away. All right. Do that over there, though. Okay. So, it was a weird Oscars this year. I mean, I think everybody knew that it would be, but it ended up being weird in some unexpected ways also. So, obviously, they were determined to have a live ceremony, but there's still COVID out there. So, they had a much smaller space, and it played out kind of like a big dinner party, almost more than the huge stage production that it usually is. But on the whole, I think that aspect of it seems to work relatively well. I will say also, though, that they decided to cut way, 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 way back on showing little photos and clips of the movies in question, in favor of just having lingering camera shots on the nominees as the nominations are read. I'm not sure I like that as much. I mean, it's nice to see the nominees, but it just sort of, maybe it's just something to get used to, but I just felt every single time like every single award is let's pan over people who are now on camera. I guess I'm kind of smiling awkwardly because I don't know if I've won yet. And wait, are they showing me which camera is on? Which camera is that? Oh, okay, over there. And the whole evening was that, so that felt a little bit weird. But I think the most unexpected thing was the end, which, if you follow film Twitter at all, you probably may have already heard about. But to briefly sum up what a lot of people are talking about is that Chadwick Boseman, who tragically died of cancer in the last year, had a performance in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and he was nominated for Best Actor for it, and he had won some of the other, film awards, and so it is a lot of people thought that he was kind of the sentimental favorite to win it as a posthumous Oscar this year. A lot of people thought that was going to happen. And it would appear that in an attempt to finish the evening on an emotional high note, they actually changed the traditional order of the categories. They always finish with Best Picture. That has been true for years and years and years and years. Because it's the biggest one, obviously. But instead, this time they did best actor last, and it seems likely that it's because they felt like it was probably going to go to Chadwick Boseman, and that everyone would be able to have this big emotional cathartic finish. And I think they had some people brought in to maybe accept on his behalf if he won. But here's the thing. The producers of the show don't know who the winners are, although, perhaps after this year a case could be made that maybe at least one of them should know. Because instead what happened is that Anthony Hopkins won. Now, I haven't seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I can't directly compare the performances, although And the other thing is too that it's important to remember that the Oscars, you know what, they are a popularity contest. It's votes. If people vote on the winners, but who knows exactly where, like, how the votes broke down or what happened there. Like, maybe so many people were sure that Chadwick Boseman was going to win that they felt like they could vote for what they assumed was going to be second place. Who knows? What I can say is Anthony Hopkins is incredible in The Father. So, like, that's a worthy performance in general. But here's the problem. Not only did, from the perspective of the producers hoping for this big emotional finale, not only is it kind of a whoops that the wrong person won, but Anthony Hopkins wasn't even there. He wasn't even there, and there might be a lot of reasons for that. Like, he's an old man. It would have been very late at night for him in the UK. He probably thought he wasn't going to win, and all of those sorts of things. So he wasn't there, so there's no speech, and so instead the ceremony ends with, and it's Anthony Hopkins. And he's not here. Good night, everybody. So, now that said, it's also true, and a lot of people who don't watch the Oscars regularly maybe don't understand this. The end of the Oscars is always weird, right? Everyone is waiting to hear what the Best Picture is going to be. But then I think most people actually just turn it off once they get to see the speeches or whatever, because usually the speeches for Best Picture are from the producers, who don't always give the most interesting speeches, and then it's always kind of just a weird cutoff. Now, but this time it did feel sort of extra anticlimactic. It's got to suck for Anthony Hopkins, who is in a position now of, like, giving one of the performances of his career and now being stuck in the middle of an awkward thing. Now, and I think it's a mistake to get too hung up on, like, should Chadwick Boseman have won? Because, like I said, I haven't seen the performance, but let's take as a given that it's very good. All right, I don't doubt it. But it's a case of, like, people vote, and so it's like, like, even if we wanted to say, Anthony, is it just about the strength of the performance, or is it also about, like, hey, we love Chadwick Boseman, and it was so sad that he died, and we'd like to give him a posthumous Oscar? Like, that's not against the rules, And I think a lot of people thought that's what was going to happen, so who knows? It's very kind of awkward. Now, let me just briefly address some of the other bits. Like, if it didn't make such an awkward thing, I would be very happy with Anthony Hopkins to win. I saw all of the 5 Best Actor nominees except for Chadwick Boseman's, just because I was trying to prioritize the Best Picture winners, and so Ma Rainey's Black Bottom I hadn't managed to see yet. But yeah, Anthony Hopkins is who I would have wanted to win otherwise. But I will say Nomadland winning Best Picture, and Chloe Zhao, the director of Nomadland, winning for Best Director. I definitely can applaud that. Like, I think as I mentioned, I thought Minari was maybe my favorite, edged out Nomadland a little bit. But Nomadland is really wonderful, and I've talked about how it has a little bit of a, like a weird qualifier note with the Amazon scenes that just don't quite 100% work for me. But by and large, the movie, despite that, is incredible. And so, like, it doesn't hurt me to have that win. And Frances McDormand winning for Best Actress in that as well. I am glad that I want to say it right. Yo Jung Yoon won for Best Supporting Actress for Minari. She plays the grandmother, and she's really wonderful, with a very memorable character in that movie. And so yeah. And then, of course, for like screenplay. You know, the father one for screenplay as well, which I think, you know, I like, yeah, sure. I like that. You know what? I'm just going to leave it there. I'm kind of rambling and have stuff to do. So I'll leave it there, but I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.